Welcome, family, to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. Thank you for tuning in to our global network. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please share this video podcast with your friends. We ask that you do this because we want others to know we're here. This video podcast is available in 3 forms: audio, video, and as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. I cite all of my sources on my Medium transcript under Show and Prove. I encourage my listeners to click on the link to my current Medium transcript so that you can read my sources in real time and respond when we open up the discussion for Q&A. We're dedicated to discussing controversial issues such as the genocide which is taking place among our youth in our inner cities across the United States. We can't sugarcoat genocide. Although I have little to no support from people in my city in Chicago, I refuse to be ignored. I'm trying to build something productive for the Black community on a local, national, and international level. GRCI of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, will meet the need of the community and provide quality programs and services to strengthen the Black family while improving the Black community, all under one roof. We're trying to build a network on a grassroots level. But again, I lack the capital and manpower to turn my vision and plan into a reality. This is why I wrote my revised book and created our virtual store in order to raise funds for our film project. The proceeds from the film will help put me in a better position financially so that I can hire Black middle-class professionals, buy office equipment, and purchase property in Chicago, Africa, and the Caribbean. On this podcast, we will promote our films, our business, current news reports, and guest contributors during our virtual conferences. Our goal is to grow our audience and reconnect the diaspora with the global African family. Purpose: to educate Black people / African people and others who are serious about solving Black issues in America, solving African issues on the continent and throughout the diaspora, as well as to raise funds for our film project, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving Black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from around the globe. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcasts and YouTube channels to help them earn extra revenue during COVID-19. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships and grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. Right now, we're trying to turn GRCAM into GRCI of Chicago. This will be a multi-purpose facility in the Black community, beginning on the west side of Chicago. We will cover Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale. In time, we will expand to the south side of Chicago. We will offer quality programs and services which will strengthen the Black family while improving the Black community in order to raise our children in a safer environment. GRCI of Chicago will operate under 7 separate functions, which are as follows: a social service component, a spiritual component, which will be optional for secular people, a political component, an entertainment component, an entrepreneur component, a black media component, and a health and wellness component. It's my hope that the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago will become a hub throughout the Midwest for emerging black artists and black entrepreneurs. We also plan on hosting African tours to reconnect the diaspora with continental Africans in 10 African nations and hopefully set up chapters during our visits and when we, just go back and forth to those each country. They are as follows: Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Angola, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Uganda. We will also launch Caribbean tours from the Bahamas, Barbados, Haiti, Jamaica, and Trinidad, as well as Brazil. Our goal is to raise $500,000 so that I can be in a better position financially to hire a professional black production company or an African production company with quality actors. Without support from the black grassroots and the global African family, I am unable to do my job. I'm calling upon all of my Christian group members in Light of the World Inspirational Group and Christian Spoken Word Network to pray that God would connect me with people who have the means to support our film project. Pray that my revised book will get on the bestsellers list. Pray that the Spirit of God will allow our film project to get fully funded and made in Jesus/Yahshua's name. I'm encouraging all of my group members to do what you can to help us reach our goals so that we can move from behind the computer, starting with getting our story on the big screen and getting our Christian business up and running in Chicago. Please consider supporting our film project in 3 ways. They are as follows. 1, our virtual store. We provide merchandise such as COVID masks, coffee mugs, posters, handbags, and t-shirts. All proceeds will go towards our film project. 2, through our PayPal page. The Guy of Chicago, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, is a faith-based community advocacy organization. Our mission is to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, and spiritual development. Donations can be used as a tax write-off for U.S. citizens because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit organization. 3, you can also support our film project by purchasing my revised book, quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, 2nd edition, unquote. It's available on my Amazon author page. I provide each website on my Medium transcript under Show and Prove. You can also find each website on my YouTube channel under About. If you are unable to participate on the show, no worries. When you have a moment, please watch our latest video podcast or listen to our audio podcast and leave a public comment in the comment sections on my YouTube page and or on my Facebook page about the topic. Most of all, please share my information with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Instructions on how to participate on the show. First, watch my video podcast. This is called Side A. After I finish my presentation, then I will open up the phone lines through Facebook Messenger. This is called Side B. You can interact with me in real time either by voice call, by clicking on the phone icon, or by video call by clicking on the camera icon. Today's topic for discussion are as follows. African immigrants wake-up call in Ukraine. What have we learned from Ukraine? Our first topic, African immigrants wake-up call in Ukraine. I touched on this topic last week. Now we're going to focus on the root problem. From my understanding, President Vladimir Putin has hypersonic missiles and nuclear bombs. It was NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which set Putin off. NATO said they would never expand towards the border of Russia, but they did, and now we are here. For me, this is the Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0. The war in Ukraine is not just affecting Ukrainians and Russians. They are a lot of foreign nationals who are in Ukraine. Many of them are African students. Our African brothers and sisters are finding out the hard way that the only thing colder than the weather is racism. These Europeans are at war with each other, and yet they are going out of their way to deny African a safe passage out of that region by forcing a white first policy. Every other race understands that their group comes first except black people, and this is unfortunate. I have been reaching out to black people on Facebook for 18 years about working with me to build our own institutions and businesses. This is why it's taken me so doggone long, because of the lack of support from our own people. It's not just limited to African people, but this is a global problem for black people across the board. We get caught up in this individualistic mindset, but when things get real, we come back to our senses. When it was time for people to evacuate from Ukraine, Ukrainians showed African students from Nigeria and South Africa their true colors. The Ukrainian government had a white first policy. Only Ukrainian women and children were allowed to get on the trains. Africans were not allowed to cross the Poland border. African students, some with children, were instructed to walk to neighboring countries like Hungary or Romania. I have the videos to prove it. They are facing collective threats, but they refuse to regard themselves as anything other than individual nationals. And within these nations, they view themselves as tribes. The European Union has come against Putin as a group. They didn't fracture themselves into individual countries or separate ethnic groups. Africans in Ukraine are refugees abandoned by their government and hated by these Ukrainians who are pointing guns at them while shoving them off trains in the middle of a war. If the last 500 years of white supremacy, imperialism, invasion, and enslavement, followed by colonialism and racial oppression, hasn't taught Africans that racism, not nationalism, is the problem, then I don't know what will. This is all of our problem as black people. Many black Americans don't have a passport to leave the United States of America. If what's going on in Ukraine happened over here, we would be in the same situation. It's about time to have this GRCAM conversation. The grassroots community activist movement is a 21st century approach to solving black issues, African issues, Caribbean issues, and Brazilian issues. I'm just one black man with a vision and a plan. It takes a team to make a dream work. And that's what I've been talking about all along. And that's what I'm trying to teach my group members. And unfortunately, a lot of my group members, they, a lot of them are just there just to be seen. So, but I guarantee you, once we get this film fully funded and we start making money in this business, and I'm in a position to hire people and all that stuff, and doing all the things that I've been, talking about and been writing about, for the past 30 years, then people are going to want to come on board. But that's when, we're going to, like I say, this is going to be membership based. I have to see that paperwork. I have to make sure people are on the up and up. We want to screen people, make sure that we don't have any urban terrorists, uh, pedophiles, rapists, hardened criminals. We don't want those type of people in this type of business. We don't want corruption. I'm just being real, and so that's where I'm at on this. Pan Africanism only practiced in a few places in Africa. Dr. Kwame, I can't pronounce his last name, but he was over in Ghana. He practiced Pan Africanism, but not many African leaders in the government practice that. We also have the president of Sierra Leone, who is offering people of the diaspora who can trace their roots back to Sierra Leone through their DNA tests can receive immediate citizenship. And that's a good thing, because we are catching hell in America by road cops and by urban terrorists, as well as by these off-code black people that keep voting for the Democratic Party, and they're making it very uncomfortable living here in America. And because of their voting and mentality and things like that, and you can't reach them and stuff like that, a lot of us are just going to have to up and leave, because it's not that many of us. Like I say, there's about 2% of the population that thinks outside the box, like myself. And I'm grateful, that those are some of the people that support this organization, but we still want to get our story out there so we can get more exposure. And like I say, we just do the best that we can to help the brothers and sisters that's here in America. But our goal is to take our talents and skills over to the continent and try to get apply for dual citizenship and use our talents and skills in exchange for citizenship in those African countries, to make a better place for Africa, as well as for us, the diaspora that's want to come there and try to live there. My advice to my African brothers and sisters who are leaving Africa for a better life, please connect with me through my Facebook African group called Rakai of Africa. As soon as I'm able to get our film project fully funded and made, then I will begin launching our African tours. If you're serious about connecting with me, send me a friend request on Facebook. Include your email address, and I'll send you all the information that you need to know about GRCAM and my vision for Africa. We will bring the best and brightest of the diaspora, people like architects, engineers, electricians, and people with masonry skills to your country, so that we can have smart boots on the ground to help build up Africa's infrastructures, such as roads, bridges, power supplies, in exchange again for our talents and skills, because we want citizenship. We must have we're gonna fix Africa or die trying mentality. This is my African vision. If you're serious about building up your countries, then, like I say, connect with me, and we'll do our best to make that a reality. In contrast, our satellite communities within the inner cities of Chicago, we will launch international trade with African entrepreneurs and black entrepreneurs in order to improve our black communities in America, starting in Chicago. And I hope that we can make Chicago a model for at least I'm going to say at least 5 other cities within the United States. But again, once we get this organization up and running in Chicago, and I'm able to sustain myself in Africa, then I'm going to turn the business over to people here in America, and I'm going to take my talents and skills to the continent and work with people that want more out of life. And we're going to go through that same, we're going to replicate the Kai of Chicago, but it's going to be called the Kai of Africa, starting hopefully in South Africa. And once we get our foot on the ground there, we want to expand, like I say, the 10 African nations to replicate it, do the best that we can to make life better for African locals. But we're going to screen people because I'm not playing about that. And I want to make sure that none of my members will never have to go through this unnecessary foolishness that I had to endure. Somebody had to go through, had to experience this, though. Somebody had to do it. And so, I just want to make sure that that this organization will be successful and productive. That's why I want to make sure I'm in a position where I can hire black middle class professionals. Now look at how the Biden administration treated the Haitians when they cross the American borders versus how they treat illegal Latino immigrants who cross the American borders. Black people are looked upon as other groups. The Biden administration immediately deported the Haitians back to Haiti. Haiti needs to rebuild Haiti. We plan on coming to Haiti and other Afro-Caribbean islands once we're established in Africa first, because we want to make sure we get our footprint on the continent. So that way we can do, again, international trade with our brothers and sisters that's here in the United States and vice versa. The majority of these other groups have proven time and time again that they don't really care about us like that. You are in someone else's country. They're not going to prioritize you like they do with their own. We have to have a black first mentality and practice group economics among ourselves, and that's what I want to be able to teach my members. A lot of my members, it just is what it is. My book is, I have it as an ebook for $9.99, and it's still not on the bestsellers list, and it's still barely selling. Now, some people say, well, you failed Emmanuel as a leader, and I reject that mess. Again, people have free will. I'm just trying to connect with other people that think outside the box and want to do something positive for our racial group, point blank. Because I'm looking at it as a group, not just for myself to just get my name out there. The film, yes, it's going to be about my experience, but it's going to also focus on why I created Cam in the first place. Because I wasn't getting a lot of support when I was doing street ministry for the 2 years that I did it. I was spending money out of my pocket and things like that, and being overlooked and all that stuff. But I'm just saying, I reached out to established black organizations such as black churches and established black organizations such as the NAACP, the Chicago Urban League, places like that. But all of those organizations that I reached out to, they were all about themselves. And so I was like, dang, let me just go ahead and create my own online group and be able to connect with other like-minded brothers and sisters. And that's where it started from. And like I say, I've been on Facebook now for 18 years, and I don't want to remain, I didn't create these groups just to have groups online. I want us to interact with each other, which is important, but I want us to be able to turn the vision that God has given me into a reality. I'm not trying to cower behind a computer. Again, I lack the manpower and the capital. All I have is my revised book and my virtual store. So that's how come I have to do these online virtual conferences, because of, yes, because of COVID-19, but I'm on a shoestring budget. I can't go around the country to try to encourage people to support our film project and things like that, because I don't have the means to do that. But that's how come I'm trying to use this technology. So that way, this can help speed up the process. So, again, God has called me to build, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not just sitting up here, just asking people for donations and stuff like that. I just want people to read my story, help get that book on that bestsellers list, and also that way help us get exposure. But my group members, active group members, even if you're not able to come on the show, I'm mindful that people, you have life outside of, cyberspace and things like that. You have families, you have jobs, you have schools. But you can still, when you have the time, you can still leave a comment in the comment section about, the topics. That's all I'm asking. Those of you that have the means to purchase my revised book, please do so, or purchase items from my virtual store. Please do that, or give direct donations through our PayPal page. That would be a help as well. But bottom line, this is all that I can do. I have done all that I can do on my end. I can't do everything. And I'm serious about this stuff, what I'm talking about. I have all the paperwork, for the nonprofit and everything, but I don't have a physical building. I'm being open and honest about that. I don't have any employees yet, because I don't have the capital to pay anyone. So this is where we are. But again, I'm trying to use my show to broadcast what's going on, to not just focus on myself. People, if you have your own, if you're a business owner, make arrangements with me to come on the show so you can promote your business. If you have a ministry and you want to share the word of God, make arrangements with me to come on the show to share the word of God. I want to do the same thing that I'm doing online in my real business. I want to give everybody an opportunity to shine. Now, in contrast, Zanzibar has allowed 1,000 Ukrainians to stay in hotels for free, while Africans are being discriminated in Ukraine. Don't take my word for it. Just go to my Medium transcript and scroll down to Show and Prove and watch the video. That's not cool at all. But see, this is that off-code stuff. Because our people, it's sad. On one hand, our brothers and sisters are being kicked off trains, especially what really bothered me the most is seeing a black woman hold her little child in her arms, and they were freezing. It was very cold. So that really bothers me, and I hate to see our people suffer like that. But yet in Zanzibar, Africans are allowing the Ukrainians to stay in the hotels for free, and it's just horrible. Just really horrible. All right. Leave a public comment on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. Most of all, please share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Our second topic, what have we learned from Ukraine? It broke again, as I was saying, I was sad to hear about this African woman that was pushed off a train with her baby, and she was left out in the cold. And it was just, it's just uncool. Lord knows I want to move Gurkhan from the sidelines into the black mainstream of America. I don't like to see, again, what's going on with our brothers and sisters in Ukraine being treated, unfairly like that. But it is what it is. Before this situation, many African students thought that racism only exists in America. Many of them bought into the propaganda by the mainstream media that black Americans are lazy and have criminal tendency. Well, I want you all to know up front, I don't associate with criminals. Now, we will have a second chance program for ex-offenders for non-violent crimes. We will also reach out to former gang members to give them an opportunity to be a part of the organization. But everybody will be treated, we're going to be respectful and all that stuff with people. And if anybody try to rip us off, again, we have our media component. We're going to expose those persons. Those persons will be placed on our Judas list, and they will be barred for life. And we may take legal action against such persons. All I'm asking everyone, all of my listeners, please read my story first. So that way you'll know what you're getting yourself involved with. Because I don't operate like other black people. I have my own style, and I operate a little differently. I want everybody to succeed up in this business. And this business is not about just Emmanuel Barbee. We focus on the collective. Those that don't want to be a part of us, we pray for them, we show them tough love, and we keep it moving. If they want to be annihilated, that's on them. We can't help those persons. And we want to pray against this Willie lynch mentality within our racial group. We have to come against that mess, because this is being passed down to the next generation. Being off code and all that kind of stuff, thinking that's, and just acting the most, to embarrass our racial group. That's not who we are. And that's how come it's important that we get this film on the screen, because we want to show another side of what they promote. The stereotypes of black people and black men. I know I'm not the most likable person, but listen to what I have to say to you, which is the truth. We live in a world which people don't want to hear the truth. I've been speaking the truth for 30 years now. This is why I have to make this film, in order to reach the black masses. And I don't apologize for having something that no other black leader has in America. I don't apologize for that. And I can prove it if given a chance. We need to focus on turning Africa into modern Africa with smart cities, just like Asians. Smart cities offer smart technology solutions, aid in problem solving, and amplify city resources for the betterment of cities, communities, and their citizens. They provide relevant news coverage, future-ready technologies, impacts on residents' life, smart buildings, networks, energy, mobility, governance, and more. Black America would help with the modernization of Africa in the areas of agricultural technology, which will help feed African people, information technology such as coding and somewhat industrialization on a small level, not, across the African continent, because we don't want to, we want to be environmental friendly too, but we want to have a balance too. We want to be able to, because I know they're lying about Africa as a third world country, but yet Africa has all the main resources and all that stuff. But again, we want to raise up Africa to its fullest potential. That's what I'm called to do. Africa is my ancestral homeland, and I want to be over there. But right now, I'm trapped, so to speak, because I don't have the capital and manpower to get this organization up and running. This is why I'm reaching out to my global African family. Please tell your family and friends from your country that people that live in Europe, Canada, and in the United States about me and what I'm trying to do for our people on the continents. And especially the ones that lives here in the United States. Encourage them to work with me the most, because those are the ones that's going to meet me face to face and be able to assist me when I bring the diaspora to your nation, because they know the terrain and they're going to help with the paperwork, so that way we can get we'll talk with them about connecting with legitimate real estate agents, purchase property there, be able to set up our business in each African nation that we visit, and try to build and bond with our brothers and sisters on the continent, and be able to provide jobs for African youth, so that way they don't have to go to places like Ukraine and be treated like a fifth or sixth class citizen. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be in a major cities. We shouldn't be in major American cities worried about urban terrorists killing our people in such places like here in Chicago, Compton, Newark, and Brooklyn. Chicago aim is to turning that around by giving a chance. That is why I'm reaching out to my global African family. Black Americans will jump on board once they see this organization gaining traction, especially in Africa and in the Caribbean. Black Americans really don't understand that the financial elites have never abolished slavery. This is why we're not getting any resources. When we want justice, we cry and complain to the same group of people who have enslaved our ancestors. They're not going to help us. 53 years of marching and protesting should prove that. As I mentioned in my revised book, we as black people must form an alliance with African nations. What's written in the 13th Amendment is a human rights violation, which is an international crime. The Russian-Ukraine conflict is about broken agreements and trying to get on Russia's borders. There is also another element to this, which is cultural values. Russia refused to accept homosexuality and feminism. This is the same agenda the financial elites have pushed on African nations, for example, in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, and in South Africa. If African nations don't accept the LGBT agenda, they're going to withhold foreign aid. There's a battle between good and evil. If you want to control people, the first thing you have to do is destroy the nuclear family. I discussed this in my revised book, how the financial elites destroyed the black family. They made the state government replace black fathers. Leave a public comment on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. Most of all, please share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Thank you again for listening to this podcast. What I would do, I would open up the phone lines for about 15 minutes. If I don't hear from anyone, then we're going to conclude the show for today. But again, just thank you all. Please support our film project so that way we can move this organization from behind the computer, starting on a big screen, and then eventually in our communities, starting here in Chicago, as well as launch African tours, because we're coming. We're not trying to hide behind a computer. And I want to lead by example. So I'm not just going to be sitting up here just be talking all that talk. It's going to be, you're going to be able to see me, because we're going to eventually get into doing African reality shows. We want to do a lot of things. And I want to be able to hire people, too, to be in this organization, so that way everything is not just put on me. The burden will be not just on my shoulders, but other people can carry the weight as well. With that being said, the phone lines are now open.